What is your why? Your why has to be bigger and it has to be stronger than any doubt, any procrastination. That why has to be enough to make you get out of bed in the morning, to attack your goals step by step according to the plan that you have created and that God has signed off on. It has to be bigger than your faith. It has to be so strong, so resilient that no way you can talk yourself out of accomplishing it because it is so heavy. Heavy is the crown. You understand? So the great thing about why is today it'll be, I want to build a legacy for my family. I want to heal my bloodline. I want to pursue my doctrine. I want to do this. Okay, that's what you want? Then what is the why that can keep you focused on what that want is? Because there will be days where you just don't feel like it. There may be weeks where you just don't feel like it. But what does the why say? You have got to find a why that is bigger than you, that is bigger than your faith. You need a why so big that when you accomplish it, for that reason, people will have no choice but to say, look what the Lord has done. Your why have to be enough when you don't feel like it. Your why has to be something that will continuously grow and evolve because you will be growing and evolving.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of My Solo Chronicles, and I'm so excited to be doing this episode with someone that is just absolutely fantastic, even though I've known her very briefly, but her story is so amazing. And today I have Coretta Ponder with me. Hello, Coretta.
Hi, April. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. It is a beautiful day. The sun is shining on me. I'm feeling a little successful. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
I'm good.
Oh, you're doing fantastic then with all
Absolutely.
that. And you got some fun going on too? Yes. Good. I'm so happy that you agreed to come and share your story of just your journey. As you know, I call my podcast My Solo Chronicles. And I've noticed over this year and a half on this podcast that solo, the word solo, means something totally different for everybody. And it doesn't necessarily narrow it down to traveling. So, yes, absolutely. I'm excited to get into the meat and potatoes of what makes Coretta tick. Yes.
Let's do this, then.
Yes. Go. So, starting off, let's start at the beginning. Who were you before this new chapter? Because Coretta has a new chapter going on in her life, y'all, that she's going to share with us later. But what was life like leading up to the moment when you realized something needed to change?
Well, I once heard someone say that insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So I started looking at my behavior.
Okay.
I was like, God, I'm always crying. And I'm gonna be honest, I come from a background of let's use the word abandonment. We're not gonna because it just like solo, it means different for everyone.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not that I was, put on a doorstep somewhere, but I come from a bloodline that was not taught to nurture, not taught to love, not taught to listen or be patient. So, it was just kind of be seen, be quiet, do what you're told, and go away, and that's okay because God chose to put me in that bloodline for a reason. So we're not pointing fingers. The reality.
This is what it was.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. So growing up, basically, unfortunately, it was a domestic violence household. Nobody was sharing love, teaching you that you're beautiful, teaching you that you can do anything. The enemy was just busy in the camp. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as long as he can keep the authorities in my life busy with heartbreak, divorce, finance troubles, all sorts of stuff that you can think of that would come out of a broken marriage.
Right.
As a child, hey, I was sitting there watching the movie, you know,
right.
And it was awful. So it was an abandonment because it was just not a tool that my parents had,
okay,
you know, to bring to their children. But again, when the word tells us, though my father and mother forsake me, the Lord will receive me.
That is so true.
It is true.
I so believe in that. So yes, it is definitely the truth. Yes. Because
and it doesn't mean that they're absent from your life.
Right.
You know what I mean? It can be abandoned as anything. You know, you can know who your parents are and still be abandoned, whether they said, I'm going to abandon my child or not. It's just the behavior. We got to focus on the behavior.
Exactly. Yes. So true.
Yeah. So circle back to my behavior. I got to a point where I did not have value. I didn't see value in myself. I would never think of the word value associating it with me. So as I ventured out to adulthood, surrounded by a bunch of disappointment, as we all have, you know, gone through, and you can go through it and know how to get out of it. But when you don't know how to get out of it, you just spinning around in a circle. You know what I mean? You're just trapped in this trauma bond and you don't even know it. Yep. So I started choosing friends and choosing mates according to my patterns of behavior.
Okay.
And I could not continue to be like, oh, well, these dudes ain't this or that. And, you know, everybody's out to hurt me.
Right.
I broke down, fell to my knees one day and screamed because I was having a major heartbreak because the man that I was with, I don't even... Girl, the Coretta now can't even understand.
You look back now and be like,
what? I thought that was supposed to be my husband that God sent to me. Like, you wrapped that up and sent it to me. Like, come on now. Right. And then we have the audacity to be, as I was screaming and crying on that floor, just me in my house, just sitting there, just screaming and crying. Girl, I had the audacity. Right. To be like, God, why you do this to me?
Oh, I've been there.
Allowing this, you know? Because it's his fault, right? You know what I mean?
It's all his fault.
It's all his fault.
How dare you do this to me?
How dare you? Okay. So once again, patterns of behavior, blaming others for my poor choices and decisions.
Okay.
I had to get to a point where I was like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with loving someone.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
So I'm not going to beat myself up for choosing to love that individual because God loves that individual.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck.
And you know, you can actually use that as it's a learning tool. You learn from it.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
God, I was on that floor and I couldn't get up. Like I literally could not pick myself up and stand.
Wow.
So when you hear just stand, just keep going, just stand. God got it. I couldn't even stand up. What you talking about? Okay. And I sat there, tears, blood in my face, soaking my shirt.
Right.
And I said, I'm not going to get off this floor, God, until you get me off this floor.
Okay.
And I stayed down there for a while.
Right.
You know,
right.
On top of the fact that, you know, at the time, see, people don't understand this. I've learned this.
Okay.
I'm on the floor.
Right.
I'm crying, heartbroken, blaming God.
Right.
Don't understand why God would keep letting me get hurt. Because in my mind, I'm the sweetest person you'll ever meet.
I've had that conversation. Yes, I've had that conversation with God too. Yeah.
Even though many of people have met many versions of me, but to me, I'm sweet, can't do no wrong, and all y'all wrong. Let's keep it all the way 100 on that. It ain't never my fault.
Exactly.
Okay? That's where I was.
I'm perfect.
I'm perfect. So I'm sitting here on this floor, and what a lot of us don't realize is when we're entertaining all of these awful encounters and we're staying, because, you know, we're staying. Women can put up with more than any man could. And I'm sorry, I love you fellas, but I'm going to keep it a buck. We were designed that way.
Right.
That's why when you be like, how can a woman stay in that for so long?
Yeah, what? That's true.
Go back and talk to the creator, the manufacturer of us.
Exactly.
And you will find why we stay so long, why we endure so much.
Yeah.
So much. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So on top of enduring all of this, we don't realize how much it locks up the system in our bodies.
Right.
You know, God is brilliant.
Right.
God loves systems. Look how many systems we walk around with. Our
That's true.
body has systems.
Right.
They must operate accordingly.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So here I am on this floor talking about I ain't getting up when God said get up. Girl, I can't get up. My knees was hurt.
You down there too
long. Locked up.
The weight of the world is on your shoulders holding you down.
Yes. Girl, I couldn't get up.
Right.
And so finally, I you know how you get up like a toddler off the floor. That's how I used to get up. Yeah. My knees were hurting bad, girl. Until I'm doing a squat. Squat what? Girl, please. So I'm trying to get up. I finally get up. And I'm feeling all the pain in my body on top of the pain in my heart. The shame in my everything. Like I felt like a fool. Because girl, I knew there was always red flags. Right. Always. Oh man, I can't believe how much I endured so that I wouldn't be abandoned. Okay. Right. We're going to take it back to that word every time. Right. Yes. So when you are accustomed to the spirit of abandonment, you try to cling on to everything that you think is love. Because if you're so caught up in abandonment, you don't even know what love is. You're just thinking this is love because you feel the way you feel emotionally about a person. Right. And that's again where emotional intelligence must come into play. But if you're not equipped with these tools, girl, I didn't know what emotional intelligence was until 2 years into my walk with God. And I saw a book. And my pastor, recommended this book. I bought the book. And now don't ask me if I read the book. Okay. Yeah. But again, it's the discipline. Okay. Exactly. God is still working on me. You understand? So after that moment, I was just like, you know what? And that was one of the biggest heartbreaks I had ever had because I believed that was the man that God sent me. That's why I endured so much. Right. That's why I stayed in so much. But when I tell you, I said then, while I would be trying to cook myself something to eat. Tears dropping in the pot. You know what I'm saying? Like I cried for days. Yes. Months. Wow. People don't tell the truth about them heartbreaks. That's true. You know what I'm saying? So I really was going through it. And I remember trying to reach up to the cabinet, hands shaking, because I'm depleting myself. Yeah. You understand? I'm not hungry. Right. But I need to eat. Right. So I told God then and there, I said, listen, I'm gonna back up from the dating scene. Because clearly I don't know what I'm doing. That's what made me want to change. I didn't know how to change. I didn't know what change looked like. Couldn't even, you know how you fantasize an amazing life or what's to come? Right. I could not fathom. I couldn't think of what it would be like. Now, it's one thing to imagine Prince Charming and how kind he is, but scratch all that. Yeah. What's the talking about real life? Yeah. We're talking about realness. Real like, life, what's real? Who's gonna partner with me in this spiritual war? That's one thing we say in the Marines. When you meet someone and let's say you're working real good together, they just real cool, or you feel like you vibe with them, the thing you would turn to that person and say, I'll take you to war with me. Like I'll be in the trenches with you. Yes. You understand me? Yes. I ain't gotta watch my back because you already watching it. You know what I'm saying? Right. I know that this is a safe space. So I had to get to a point to say, Coretta, you don't know what you're doing. No one. I never had talk. You know how you get to talk about the birds and bees. Oh yeah. Yeah. My talk was this was my talk. When you go out, don't leave your cup. Yep, that was my talk as well. I was raised by my grandparents. And that was it. And you're wondering, like, okay, what does that mean exactly? What does that mean? Can you kind of break that down a little bit? So, if we, and I am not a big, let's see, how can I say this? Because I don't want to be offensive. I'm not really big on separation of races. Like, that's just not my thing. Because
right.
I dealt with a lot of colorism, but it felt like racism, you know, growing up. And it was always by my people. I love my people, but my people have been broken for so long.
Yes.
And as we watching life today, you'll see how some families are beginning to heal.
Yeah.
And in that healing process, we've had to cut off family members.
Yes.
And they get upset because they don't understand that. And it's not that we hate them. It's just, hey, somebody got to break away from the pack.
Exactly.
Just so we can learn, do better.
Right.
And my prayer is, in me doing better through Jesus Christ, that somebody in my family is going to say, hey, that looks different.
That looks, I want to learn more. What is your secret? Like, what's happening? Right. What are you doing? Right.
So I said, okay, I'm going to trust God.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to jump out here and say, celibate? Like, what is that, God? Let's keep it a buck. Come on now. Look. I'm 45 years old.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And she looks amazing, y'all. She looks amazing. That's all I was saying.
Look at it. It's almost like God put a canvas up, stepped back and painted that and put a dot there on my cheek and said, masterpiece.
Yes.
You understand me?
Exactly.
And just threw the mold away. He threw the whole mold away.
Right.
But you couldn't have paid me to believe that my God cared that much about me.
Right.
You couldn't.
Right.
Okay, because I was, as a little girl, before I can even begin to speak, before I can even begin to go to school, to realize in society, that I was dark skinned.
Right.
I didn't know I was dark skinned. I didn't understand that, but until, unfortunately, my mother's side of the family is very, very fair skinned.
Okay.
My father, he brought all the chocolate. You understand?
Right.
So I did not know how beautiful Black was.
Right.
I would be told by certain family members, you'll never be anything because you're Black. You're dark.
Okay. So,
And
now with that being said, like you say, you experience, colorism. And unfortunately, in the Black community, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent, but we tend to group each other. Who's the lightest, who's the darkest, who's fair-skinned, everything like that. So
we were taught that.
Exactly, we were taught that. So how did those experiences impact your self-worth? Like, how did you begin reclaiming confidence in who you are and being comfortable in your own skin tone?
Listen, I still go through, but it is not the same as it was before. There was a point. I have reconnected with people that I went to high school with. Oh man, you were so this and so that.
Yeah.
Oh, your body was this, your body was that.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
I never knew what I looked like.
Okay.
I didn't look in the mirror.
Okay.
Do you understand me?
Yeah.
I did not look in the mirror. I did not. And I know that sounds strange to people.
Okay.
But my mother was very traditional.
Okay.
She still picked my clothes out.
Okay.
She still did my hair. By the time I got, I would say maybe sophomore-ish age around that time, maybe junior.
Okay.
I started doing my own hair.
Okay.
But my mom was, she was waking up with the roosters.
Okay.
She was making sure we had breakfast. Like she just was traditional like that. Like I can talk about the abandonment and the no nurturing.
Okay.
She did what she knew.
Right.
What she saw grandma do.
Okay.
You understand me?
Right.
So house was always clean, spotless. Like I would go to school and the teachers would pull me out of class to show other teachers my hair. She would braid it. She would wear clothes. Now we was at J.C. Penney, Hunt Club, baby. Hunt Club. Don't act like I forgot.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom, she did everything like on a cycle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was schools clothes shopping. Okay. And we weren't allowed to touch stuff. And one time I took the price tag off a book bag. Girl, she took that book bag back and I had to carry an old dusty military sea bag. I was so embarrassed.
That was your lesson for touching something.
Girl,
she
I
told
was
you
fifth
not to.
grade.
Yeah.
Fifth grade. She didn't have to do that.
Right.
Fifth grade.
Yeah.
And all year.
Yeah.
All year.
Right.
Girl, I was so embarrassed. I would ball that thing up like a raincoat. I ain't got but one book in there.
Exactly.
Why would you give me a sea bag? A sea bag? That bag is almost tall as me. That was my life, girl. That was my life. Yes, there was strict rules. Yeah. There was rules you had to follow.
Okay.
And I was a rule follower. Okay. I was what you would say maybe good girl, okay. But I was just terrified of getting a spanking. Okay. I grew up in domestic violence. I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So I was terrified. Girl, I had a black eye at 3.
Oh my gosh.
Because I ran from the belt, and I guess she was trying to extend it, but you know, in the heat of the moment, the buckle extended out and wrapped around my eye, girl. And there was no let me pick her up and console her. No.
Right.
She put me on that couch. I had to sit there, and you know that cry when you do as a baby when you and then all of a sudden you try to hold it because they be like, shut up all that noise like you used to cry about like you didn't just hit me.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to the word abandonment. It's just like, the abandonment of just, not showing feelings or concerns for my baby just got hit with a belt in the eye.
Exactly.
None of that.
And none of that, because you got to look at it. It's a disease, what our people have gone through. And it has wreaked havoc all across the bloodline, because I had to watch my mom get beat.
Yeah.
There was no go to your room. We lived in a trailer.
Okay.
Yeah. My first home was a trailer where you knock on the door and your knuckles get white. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
On my grandparents' land. Okay. Yes, in Valdosta, Georgia. So we lived in a trailer. Okay. And while the devil was wreaking havoc all over our trailer, rocking that trailer, I had to sit there and scream and cry.
Right.
And my mother, bless her heart, she would be screaming for us to help her. How?
Oh, yeah.
We're 3. Kids.
Yeah,
we're
kids.
2.
Yeah.
We're 4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I tried to help, my dad would yell, sit down. So it was just like, oh, so you want me to watch this?
Right. Yeah.
That's traumatizing. Yeah. And you got to understand, my parents were children when they married.
Okay.
So let's give them a little buffer here.
Yeah.
My mom was 17 when she married my dad. Okay. My dad may have been anywhere from 21, early 20s, basically.
Wow, they were young kids.
They were children. Yeah.
So they were they're still developing, trying to live their life the best way they can as young people. So
this is their first time living life.
Yeah.
When I heard that 4 years ago, someone said, keep in mind while we're bashing our parents for the upbringing we received.
Yeah.
This is their first time at life too.
That's true.
And that hit my heart. And I said, you know what? That is completely true.
Yeah.
Like, completely true. So I said, all right, whatever this is, God, whatever it means to change, I'm going to be celibate because I don't even trust my own choices to get the mate.
Okay.
Because I'm picking wrong. You understand?
Right.
It wasn't like I had great relationships, then him. No.
Right.
They all, whether it was my fault or the other person's fault.
Right.
We both had a hand to play.
Right.
And I was trauma bonding with people.
Okay.
And thinking that was love. How do you think that trauma bond is
love? That is true. That is so true.
So now I have to relearn everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
So that's when I made the choice. I said, no more.
Yeah.
I didn't, honestly, when I made the choice, I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought my flesh was going to get out of control.
Okay.
And I was going to, start dating men again.
Okay.
But girl, the heartbreak was a behind whooping that I will never forget.
Yeah.
Never forget. I was scared in my own home.
Right.
This joker was terrorizing my home when I wasn't there. I come back, my home would be doors wide open, bust open, windows, everything. I had a beautiful home in a beautiful neighborhood where, they don't play that.
Exactly.
And I was the only one on the block.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And on top of that, I was single. See, the wives, when they went to, girl, what you here for? You got a 4-bedroom house around here. What you here for?
No, that's right.
What you here to collect our husbands? So I didn't get a lot of love, and I was okay with that. But because that's what I wasn't there for that anyway.
Okay.
I'm usually by myself.
Okay.
My friends consisted of coworkers and little encounters like that. Like I didn't have real girlfriends that would say, "Hey sis, you are amazing. Hey sis, we can do this. Hey sis." Yeah. But the great thing about God is when you choose Him, He will choose your family. That's true. He will choose your friends. That is so true. Yep. And before you know it, you have a beautiful family. A beautiful family / community, just people that are going to support you. Yes. And check you when you're not right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so, yes. Girl. I have a few in my life that's like that. So it's just like, I told you what Miss Barbara did when I didn't answer that phone. She was like, "Oh, so you're running from me." Exactly. I got a couple of people like that. I have my sister Danetta, my sister Latavia. Okay. Like they're the two that be like, but they look at you through the eyes of God. Yeah. Yeah. When you walk up to them, you're like, "Oh, I hope they don't see what I did last night." Or when you sit in church and you be looking at the pastor with your mouth open, right? And you be sitting there like, "God, you messy, right? Why you tell him my business? Right? Why this man on stage preaching my business? Exactly. And he don't know me from Adam. You know what I'm saying? So God will always bring the people around that have that parental, sorry, let me say that word correctly, parental authority in your life. And like I said, I'm 45. Yeah. I have now gotten to a point where I no longer say, I don't need all that authority in my life. Yes, I do. Right. Authority is very important to God. Right. If you look at it, when we say in Jesus' name, there's a level of authority there. You know what I'm saying? It's steps there. It's level, just like the military. There's a chain of command that you must follow. You know, you don't just go to the major and say, "Hey, major, such and such." No, you have to go through your ranking. Right. Because it's a respect. You don't blindside anybody. Exactly. So God, I love God's principles. Like His principles. I had to keep asking God, "Who are you?" Right. Because I'm sitting in churches all my life through childhood. My stepmom would take me to church. My grandma would take us to church. Okay. We didn't go to church always, but those were the times that we were able to go. And I remember encounters, and I was like, "Okay, God," I sat in there, and these people talk about how you are loved. Right, right. But I'm scared of you because all they talk about is how I'm supposed to fear you. So make it make sense. Like, come on. Right. Like, people forget that God is the realest. God is the realest. Yeah. I have tried to sit here and have a relationship with God according to the King James Version. Yeah. And keep it a buck. That's trash. Yeah. And the reason why I say it's trash because the King James Version is not my version. Right. I'm an NIV all day, baby. You say it all day, every day. All day, every day. I need to understand what I'm reading. Now, don't get me wrong. Right. One thing I tested God before on the King James. Okay. I opened that King James and I said, "All right, God, help me understand what I'm about to read." Yeah. And I did. That's when I knew the Spirit of the Lord is real. Yeah. So I said, okay. I said, I'm tired of trying to go in a closet and pray in tongues all day long. Right. Now, I ain't knocking nobody with the gift of praying in tongues. I know it is edifying. Right. I get that. Sometimes you don't know what to pray. Okay. Right. Right. But just because you pray in tongues for 16 hours a day doesn't mean somebody else. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And when we mess up that is we see grandma doing it. And yes, it works. We try to mimic that. And then we try to mimic that and wonder why we don't have a real relationship and we're struggling and we're mad and we're trying to figure out, I'm doing this God thing. I tried the God thing. The God thing don't work. Right. So let me go over here and let me do something else. Right. No, you are uniquely designed. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy handiworks. Right. And my soul knows this very well. So if you know that, you got to know that the relationship that God requires is yours and yours alone. It is unique. Like, let's be real. My best friend is from the block. Okay. All right. He's from the block. Right. And I love him. Right. Right. But if that joker start talking to me in the King James, I'm going to look at him like he crazy. Because I know that's not him. You know what I'm saying? So you'll be like, yeah, you know what? The conversation is now ended. It's done. It's ended. Yeah. Exactly. Let's talk about something else. When I hear him, Yes. When he prays out loud and I hear him talk to God like they just standing on the block together, I know it's real. Yeah. Because we're trying to be we compare ourselves to what we think society wants us to be. Who is society? Yeah. Like, why does society have more authority than God? Right. Like, seriously. And it's not judgment, it's just reality. Right. We have sat here and compared ourselves to someone else's life. Yep. Someone else's anything. Yeah. We have covered it so much from others because we want it. And there's nothing wrong with desire. I honestly feel that God puts desire in all of us. Because without desire, why would you want to chase your purpose? I desire to chase my purpose. Okay. I desire to do what I was manufactured to do. Right. I was created and designed for a special purpose. What is that purpose? Only thing I know about that purpose right now is to be the light. Yes. Exactly. As long as I continue to shine bright, God will order my steps and guide me and turn me to the avenues and the lanes that my purpose was designed for. Yeah. I'm tired of trying to find my purpose. Right. No. Your purpose. Because we're doing it wrong. Right. And you know what I physically looking. I absolutely love that your faith literally plays an important role in your life. You don't. You talk to a lot of people and they're kind of like here to mention about their faith, because they don't want to be looked at as a weirdo. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Oh my God. Why are you talking like that? But I will say, like, my thing is, like, how did your Christian faith, like, guide you through, like, just different times of uncertainty? Because when you're trying to rebuild, because like you said, you were trying to change and say, okay, I don't want to be like this anymore. I want to be like this. Okay. So God was my 911 call. That when you was on your knees. He was my 911 call throughout my life. Like, when you don't know God, you only call on him when it's an emergency. Yep. Tune in to the next episode as I continue my conversation with Coretta on The Moment You Choose You. As always, my moonbeams, have a great rest of the day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.